Want to write a great blog post? Start with an outline. In this video, I'll show you the exact process I use to write blog posts that solve problems and offer better value than other content on the same topic. Ready to get started? Let's dive in. Hi there, my name is Katerina. I wrote a book called From Reads to Leads. It explains how to create content that brings leads. You should check it out after you watch this video. The link to my website is in the description to this video. And the last thing that I wanted to tell you before we jump into blog posts, subscribe to this channel. Every week I share useful insights and tips on content marketing and writing, and you don't want to miss them. Now, as I've already mentioned, to write a great blog post, you need to start with an outline. Why is it so important? By planning ahead, you can better understand what you need to write and how. An outline helps you focus your attention and build a roadmap from the start through the middle to the end. What is it you need to tell your readers? Are you telling it to them in the right order? Are the transitions logical? Is there a connection between topics and subtopics? Is the hierarchy transparent? With an outline, it's far easier to build the flow of the text, and what's more, outlining increases your writing speed because it gives you discipline and kills procrastination. An article without an outline usually takes too long to write, gets too heavy, and performs poorly. An outline doesn't only benefit you as a content writer, it's also a great way for your boss or your editor to understand what they're going to get before you write it. They can even tell you what's missing and what might be going wrong, helping you improve your first draft. Now, here are the steps on how to create an outline. Step 1. Define your key message. Your key message is not your topic. It's something that guides your outline and eventually your article, so you don't end up beating around the bush. To define your key message, you need to know 3 things: your topic, your reader, and your reader's job to be done. If you don't remember what jobs to be done are, you should check out my video about jobs to be done, which I will link to at the end of this video. Now, let me give you an example. Let's say you want to write an article about the cost of mobile app development. Your reader is an entrepreneur looking to build an app. Their job to be done is knowing the cost of building an app so they can plan their budget. What could be your key message? Ask yourself, is there anything that my readers don't know that I want to tell them about? Your key message needs to be believable, easy to understand, and it must align with your brand strategy. For example, the cost of an app depends on the scope of work to be done by the developer and the experience building similar applications. How do you make it believable? You can show examples of popular applications and tell your readers about the amount of work needed to build them and how their costs differed. How do you make it easy to understand? You can show the functionality needed to build an application and how it influences the time and money needed to develop it. How do you align it with your brand strategy? You can make a point that it takes less time and money to develop an application if the developer who builds it has lots of experience building similar apps. You can give examples of apps that your company has built to support this message and spread the brand knowledge. Make sure you have supporting arguments, proofs, and relevant experience unique to your company to drive home your main point. If you don't know any of that yet, you should prepare questions to ask your team or your client before you start working on your draft. Step 2. Create a list of questions that your reader will want answers to. Prior to creating a content structure, do a brainstorming session. Imagine that you're a reader. What questions do you want answers to? For example, in an article about the cost of mobile app development, a reader might want answers to the following questions. How much do popular mobile apps cost to develop? What affects the cost of app development? What defines the cost of developing a mobile app? Why is it hard to calculate the cost of an app? How does technology impact the cost? Will I be able to get a return on investment? What is the cheapest way to build an app? You might want to do some research prior to listing these questions. Make sure you check out forums like Reddit or Quora to find questions related to the cost of mobile app development. You might find questions you have never even thought about. Step 3. Develop an article structure. Once you have the list of questions, you can start putting them in order using subheadings and bullets and start adding relevant examples. At this point, you want to ensure that your points are coherent and that nothing is missing or excessive. Step 4. Compare your structure with that of your competitors. If you're writing about a topic that others have already written about, you want to make sure your content is the best in your niche. To make sure it's the best, you need to look at your competitors' content and analyze its format, structure, visuals, and messaging. Here's the quickest way to do it. Install a Chrome extension that lets you download links from the first page of Google results. I use SEO Quake. Check out your Google search settings and make sure you get 30 results on each page of a greater variety and that you've marked the country you're targeting in the region settings. I live in Italy, but generally target the US market, so I need to get the US Google search results. Type in the focus keyword you're trying to get your article to rank for on Google. Click Export CSV on the left if you're using SEO Quake to download the top 30 links. Delete the links that don't fit your inquiry. Open each relevant link to analyze the format, structure, messaging, and visuals. You can also use the side-by-side SEO comparison tool from Internet Marketing Ninjas to quickly analyze the words on the page, title, meta description, and headings. Update your content structure using the insights you get during competitor research. Step 5. Plan visuals. When you're analyzing your competition, pay special attention to visual content. Even if your competitors don't have catchy images in their articles, it doesn't mean yours shouldn't. Comparison tables, infographics, videos, images, screenshots, charts simplify complicated topics and make your content more engaging. Many content writers add visuals when they've finished writing their drafts, and these visuals often play the role of useless decoration. If you add visual content while working on your draft, you can make it part of your story. Depending on what you need to write, you might want to pull in a designer or an illustrator to help you with visual content. The earlier you tell them what you need, the more likely you're going to get it done by your publishing date. Step 6. Write a headline. I purposefully added this important step after everything else because you might not be able to create a great headline until you know what you write and how. You can go back to your headline while working on your draft and when you finished it. It's one of the most important aspects of content and requires a lot of attention. Hook your reader with a promise and close the deal with your content. Your headline must reflect your promise. There are a bunch of resources on the internet that help you write compelling headlines. I linked to some of them in the description. Now, let's see the difference between good and bad headlines. Too vague and doesn't interest readers. Cybersecurity threats caused by ransomware. Too specific, making readers feel they already know the whole story. Ransomware can infect and encrypt your files. Just enough intrigue to encourage click-throughs. You won't believe what ransomware might do to your files. If you want your content to rank well on search, you must include your focus keyword at the beginning of your headline. I have a video about how to write content optimized for search. I'll link to it at the end of this video. Step 7. Plan the reader's next move. Getting a response is the whole point of writing content. When you work on your outline, you need to plan the exact actions that you want your readers to take once they've read your content. What can be considered an action? Anything that helps your readers move to the next stage of their journey, know your company better, and prolongs their time on your website. Here are some examples of actions you can plan. Transitioning to a related service product page. Transitioning to a case study, transitioning to the contact us page, transitioning to another article related to a topic, downloading a lead magnet, transitioning to a lead magnet landing page, writing a comment, submitting a contact form, writing a question in your online chat. Plan how you're going to get your readers to take action. How will your CTA appear as a link in the text, as a button, as a pop-up? Think carefully how you'll implement the action and how you'll measure it. Step 8. Get feedback on your outline. Once your outline is complete and informative, it's ready for your editor's review. Like a movie treatment, a good outline must sell your story. An outline is not a content skeleton. It doesn't just list the headings and subheadings. It includes actual pieces of content. Write an opening line. Add examples you'll mention, add description to each section. This will help you get meaningful feedback from your editor and make your draft even better. Don't overdo it with your outline though. It's still not a draft. If you're too thorough, working on a draft might turn into following a strict to-do list that leaves no space for unexpected discoveries and creativity. Know what you need to write, but leave some space for exploration. When your outline is done, you can start working on your draft. Your key message, your article structure, your reader's next move, and much more are all broken down in my book From Reads to Leads. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Kobo, and other bookstores, or you can read the first chapter, which is freely available on my website. I hope this video was useful. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time with a new video. Я Катерина. Пока-пока.